one from A to Z Sports. 3 reasons the Browns will be able to build on their success from 2023. Nick Chubb and Deshaun Watson will return is number 1. Chubb was lost in week 2. Watson only played 5 games and a couple of drives for the Browns a season ago. Year 2 under Jim Schwartz as the defensive coordinator. You would expect the defense that was really good takes even a step forward. And number 3, the Browns have the ammo to get better. And Andrew Berry has said that they know what they're going to do restructuring wise, so they can be players, maybe not huge players, but players in the upcoming free agency. Those all make sense, and I think the most important thing to remember, defense should be better. And the detractors will say they didn't play a lot of elite quarterbacks, so that will be a challenge. There are some pretty good quarterbacks that the Browns will be facing coming up in 2024.
Yeah, it's a scary proposition. The defense still can get better. It'd be interesting to see what kind of schematic changes are made under Schwartz in year 2, or if they just try to, get more aggressive. We're talking about a team who pretty much stayed in 2 or 3 coverages all year. Didn't really show much differing looks to opposing defenses. They just knew what they did, and they had the guys to pull it off. They lined up and they got it done. But eventually, you saw some pivots that needed to be made, and they weren't there. Not a lot of changes that happened throughout the game. I think that's something that needs to be looked at on the defensive side of the ball. But if this defense shows up better than they were last year, that's a scary proposition for opposing offenses. I think everything hinges on point number 1, though. Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubb returning. I think that decides how far this team can actually go. And if Nick Chubb is 90% of what Nick Chubb was, that's good enough for him to get it done. But it comes down to Deshaun Watson. I think everything we're going to talk about this whole offseason comes down to Deshaun Watson when you get down to brass tacks. If he can elevate his game and get the most of the playmakers around him, the sky's the limit for this team.